In this video, we are going to look at mensuration. Mensuration is in two parts. Mensuration 1 talks about length and area of plane figures. Length and area of plane figures. And then mensuration 2 talks about volume and surface area of plane figures. When I talk about surface area, so you may ask, what's the difference between area and surface area? Area is just one face. Let's say a rectangle or a square. The area of a rectangle or a square or trapezium or whatsoever. Whilst when we talk about surface area has got to do with solid figures. So it's made up of many faces. So it can be a cuboid. A cuboid is an object that we use in everyday life. So you can have a box which is rectangular. It's made up of 6 faces. So you need to calculate the area of all the 6 faces. Put it together. That gives you the surface area or total surface area. So let's start off. Mensuration 1, length and area of plane figures. So let's look at length first. What is length? What is length? When I talk about length is the distance between 2 points, isn't it? It's as simple as ABC. Distance between 2 points is what a length is. So this is very simple to understand. Now we measure it in using other measuring instruments, right? Like a ruler, a surveyor's tape, micrometer, screw gauge, so forth and so on. You know them. They are measured in millimeters, centimeters, decimeters, kilometers, so forth and so on. So these are also in let's say in acres or inches. These are all measurements that can be used to measure length. So this is typically what you are going to do. How do you determine the length of something? Now, we have total length of an object, right? Total length of an object. We can have a total length of an object or of a field or a compound, right? Total length of a field or a compound. So we have a piece of land, whether rectangular or square in nature. I want to measure the length of it, the total length around it. So over there we can say you want to calculate the fence, you want to calculate the wall, you want to calculate the compound, right? You want to calculate the boundary. So you can use words like boundary and all that. Any word that signifies total distance around the field or around the shape under consideration. This is typically what we call perimeter. So the name is perimeter. Perimeter. So either the examiner will use perimeter, total fence, total wall, total boundary, even border, total border. What is the border around the field? That means he wants the total distance around the field. This is typically what we are going to look at. We call it perimeter. Good. So that's perimeter for you. Now let's look at it very well. Now, the perimeter of different shapes, right? The perimeter of different shapes will be determined by the type of shape. But before we go there, let's look at conversion of units. How do you convert one unit to the other? How do you convert one unit to the other? So we have, this is common thing on our simple ruler that we use in our books. 10 millimeters, that is the tiny max. 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter, which we know. So from 0 to 1 is 10 max. You see 10 points there. 1 to 2, 10 points. So 10 millimeters, equal them millimeters, equal to 1 centimeter, which we know. Then 100 centimeters, 100 in French is 100. 100, French, 100. So 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Then 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. So this is well known. So if you look at it, and then you can guess a kilometer from where you are to another distance, check what a kilometer will be. So 1,000 meters of that, and 1,000 meters just like an average whiteboard that we use in our homes. You can use that to, or when you stretch your 2 arms, right? So your one arm to the shoulder of the other arm, Yeah, is the average of what 1 meter will be. It depends on your height anyway, but on the average, one full arm plus up to the shoulder of the other arm together will give you a meter. So that is how you can estimate it. So 1,000 of such is equal to 1 kilometer. Now, there can be a conversion where you need to jump. This is the traditional conversion that we should know. 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. That one is primary. Then, when there's a jump, so look at this. Instead of millimeter to centimeter, you can jump from millimeter straight to meter. What do you mean? What does it mean? You multiply the conversion rate. So 10 times 100 will give you 1,000. So that means that 1,000 millimeters equals 1 meter. Take note. You can also jump from millimeter straight to kilometer. So you multiply all the conversions involved. So 10 times 100 times 1,000 will give you 1 million. So 1 million millimeters equals 1 kilometer. You can also move from how do you call it? You can also move from mid centimeter, right? Instead of meter to kilometer, you can move from centimeter straight, right? Centimeter is 100. Instead of to meter, you move straight to millimeter, to kilometer, sorry. So centimeter to kilometer, centimeter straight to kilometer. So you have to multiply 100 by 1,000. That will give you 100,000. So 100,000 centimeters equals 1 kilometer. It's just a jump. Then 10 decimeters equals 1 meter. Take note of this conversions. This is what you'll be using. And this is all proportion, which we know. You apply proportion. So for instance, you're asked to convert this the following. All you have to do is to use proportion in your conversion. So 25 millimeters equals what? How many centimeters? That's what it means. It has given you convert 25 millimeters to centimeters. So you have to know the conversion rate between the two of them. So to answer it, look at it. You see, if 10 millimeters equals 1 centimeter, then 25 millimeters, what do you expect? These are all direct proportions. So you just put it on top. If more or less divide. So 25 divided by 10, millimeter over millimeter. Take note, when we did proportion, we saw that millimeter over millimeter multiplied by 1 centimeter. So this is the answer. So if you understand proportion very well, conversion of this is not anything at all. So just watch the video on proportion. If you have not watched it very well, you get why we say if this equals that. Good. So now perimeter. Like I said, perimeter is a name given to total distance, boundary, as you can see here, or total length, right, around the plane shape or around the field. That is when it is physical, right, in reality, around the field. So it can be a football field, it can be a farm field, or whatever field that you have. You just calculate that way. The name is perimeter.